The Old Bull and Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast. Here we are after a game that the Patriots certainly worked their hardest to not lose, but they certainly, I don't know if I could say they made it a real effort to win. And that game was, I think, a lot of our fears and a lot of the stuff Old Bull brought up going into it incarnate. And I'm sure with that, my dad, here's your trampoline. Jump on it, Dad. What do you got about this odd, very white, pure, water, white bread and water game plan from the Patriots? It seems.
The old bull, the old man was right. I was just hoping it wasn't this game. I said in the pregame before this, I said their ultra conservative game calling, thanks to Brissett, almost cost them last week when one of the best quarterbacks in the league had a chance to just go on a touchdown drive with 3 minutes left, and we would have lost. And sure enough, today we scored 20 points against the 27th ranked defense of last year. I mean, at home, it's just not acceptable. Can we cannot complete a pass past 10 yards to a wide receiver.
I
It's
I
like
didn't see one.
impossible. You
I have not seen
can't
one.
live in today's NFL without being able to do that. He had what? Like 140 yards passing in today's NFL? What is this? 1976? Like, are you kidding me, Brissett? And that those 140 yards were flukish. They had there was a couple of him scrambling out of the pocket and throwing on the run. Those aren't design plays. And how many of those passing yards came off of screens? Like, why even have wide receivers out there? Let's go get some free agent tight ends and just keep throwing to them because it feels
Yep.
like Hunter Henry and Hooper are the only ones that can get anything going. It's
Yep.
just
No, I
oh,
completely
so
agree.
fair and frustrating, man. Another game we should this game should have been won.
Yep.
We should it should have been Seattle playing catch up, trying to catch up to us.
Yep. And we got Jeff Unknown. It looks like the Lions had a similar fate today. They got kind of beat pretty bad by the Buccaneers, and I don't know what the game plan was. I didn't get to watch any of that game, but I could tell you, man, it's like I don't know if Jacoby Brissett threw a single ball like more than 10 to 15 yards in the air. Uh, he had a pretty good strike to Polk, but that was, I think, a 7 yard pass in the
Yeah.
end zone. That had some zip on it, but otherwise, playing to not lose these games, it's so frustrating. I mean, the third quarter woes, come back to bite us again. Third quarter, we come out and we run 3 plays. Uh, and we get some Jacoby Brissett incomplete passes after Hasty gets us 2 yards, and it was a few other drives where we just ran it 3 times and called it a day. Ramondre. So yeah, I think we started the third quarter with a Stevenson run, a Stevenson run, a Stevenson run, and then we punted. Um, and then we came back out the next time and we said we're going to put the ball in Jacoby's hands. Incomplete pass, short middle, incomplete short middle, sacked. So that was our third quarter showing from the New England Patriots, and it was concerning that it was going to cost us the game last week. It certainly cost us the game this week. That was incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, three in a row, 3 possessions in a row. We had three and out, three downs and punting the ball. We
Yep.
just can't have that. And again, we have the ball with a minute 33 left before the half. I know we're deep in our zone, like we're on our own 15-yard line, but it's like, oh no, just try to play for the half. Try to play nothing, not even trying to go for the field goal. It's just very frustrating. It's just and people are going to say this. Well, Brissett, he didn't have any turnovers again. He Patriots are in it. Blah blah blah. You know what? Drake May might have a turnover or so, but the ceiling is so much higher with him. Okay, yeah, he might throw an interception. He might get a fumble. But you know what? We're not going to score 16 points like we did last week. We're not going to score 20 points like we did this week against the 27th ranked defense in the NFL. He's got a higher ceiling. There'd be more touchdowns in there. So, yes, with our defense, we can afford to give up an interception. All right, if we put the kid in there. But all I know is this is just a hard way to live. This isn't 1976 where 20 points will get you in a good defense in a run game will get you a damn win. It's today's NFL, and we played an average team at best at home. Golden opportunity to go 2-0 with some great momentum, and we just blew
Yep.
it. It just how anticlimactic was that overtime?
Yeah.
Like, man,
I mean,
3-0 punt.
yep. We
It's
got
like,
Tim.
oh God.
Tim in here playing safe does not win games. And Tim, you're totally right. The Patriots did not lose this game, but they certainly did not win this. Like, you know what I mean? Like they made no effort to put any sort of risk on the table. And if that's the lack of confidence that Gerard Mayo has in his team, it's insane. Gerard Mayo has house money this year. That he's not on the hot seat. So I don't understand why the game plan is to take everything so short. I mean, it was maddening how often our plays were so short. I wanted to be excited by my team, even if it comes with some losses. Completely agree, Tim. There was even the first play where, not the first play, but the play where Brissett got sacked. I'd like to see the all 22 on that to see if they had somebody like Tyquan Thornton running up the sideline, and then Brissett pump fakes because he doesn't want to throw an interception. I mean,
it takes so
listen,
long to throw the
yeah,
ball.
oh, he does. And so today we had 5 targets to wide receivers today. 3 to Polk, 2 to KJ Osborne. Otherwise, and our receivers only had 3 receptions. I mean,
we have Pop Douglas on this team. He's like
Douglas
a
did not even
4-man
get a
Julian
target.
Edelman. We can't even throw that guy the ball. It's ridiculous. And Matt, the shameful thing is, we were able to run the ball. Yep. Can you imagine if Seattle had to actually respect our passing game, how much we would have been able to run the ball today? If they actually weren't able to have just 10 men in the box, which they did the entire game pretty much. They had one guy deep just in case. Otherwise, you were able to count all 10 Seattle Seahawks defenders on the television screen because they don't have to respect anything beyond 5 yards down the field. So we're still able to run the ball despite those conditions. Imagine if they actually had to, sit back and fear our passing game a little bit. We could have really ran the ball down their throat. The whole thing is just infuriating.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what the long-term solution is, but I'll tell you. I mean, this is the way you play if you're a coach who doesn't want to get fired. Mayo, you are not going to get fired this year. You are going to 100% be the Patriots coach next year. Take some chances. I don't understand. I mean, overall, like, I hope they're not looking at this as a success, because it's certainly a miss. Jacoby Brissett is just not the quarterback. If he's not confident in himself, if he's playing to not lose the job, I don't understand why he's out there. The offensive line kept him pretty clean, except for the couple times when Brissett held onto the ball a little bit. He did have a couple times where he had some good pocket presence and ducked out of some for sure sacks. So that was great. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a preseason game. It looks like we're just don't want to show too much. And I don't know if Dad, do you think that's more of a concern by the staff in the weapons or in the quarterback?
I think they've just drilled it into Brissett's head that, hey, just don't turn the ball over. That's all we care about. Job's yours. Just don't turn the ball over. And the guy just refuses to throw it downfield. He just refuses to. I mean, it's like he doesn't get rid of the ball quick. He's not a disaster. Like you said, he makes the occasional play, but the ceiling is so low with this guy. Like, there's just no threat at all of us completing a 15-yard pass that's not a screen. It's infuriating. Like, we can't keep putting this pressure on our poor defense. Like, our defense played another really good game today. They weren't as good as last week, but they were close. And it's like, man, what a shame that we had to lose that damn game after we played good enough to win. If we had, Drake May in there, I'm telling you, we get 2 more touchdowns. Maybe, we get like probably 2 less field goals, but then we have 2 more touchdowns. Maybe he throws a pick in there. Maybe he gets, I don't know, strip sacked at some point. But our defense is good enough to survive that. We need more points. 2 games with an overtime, and our offense has 36 points on the year and not even 300 passing yards total. That
in
is
2 games.
insane.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut it. You should, in today's NFL, you should be getting close to 300 yards every game.
Yep. Now, I think on the defensive side of the ball, you mentioned, and so really quick, is Mayo unable to get out of the defensive mind? No imagination. Completely agree, Tim. I mean, I like my dad mentioned that he thinks it's more of Brissett hamstringing himself a little bit and hedging himself, and maybe it's not. Maybe the coaches are giving him plays to make, and he's just not taking them and erring on the side of caution. Tim, I'm curious what your thought is to that question. Right? Is the lack of execution in the game because of the weapons that everyone has dogged on us for the last 2 years, our lack of weapons, or is it the quarterback? If you have a moment to write there, going to the defense. I mean, DK and Metcalf had an amazing game. 129 yards, 10 receptions. The Jackson Smith and Jigba kid had 12 receptions, 117 yards. I mean, our defense really didn't do that well. They did not make any, a lot of great stops. Jabril Peppers, I appreciate him going up. There was at one point where I think Keon White or somebody got their hand on Geno Smith's arm. And instead of Jabril kind of letting the ball float to the guy behind him for an interception, he like went up and tried to do this weird one-handed interception thing and ended up deflecting it down, which sucked. And then, you don't want to bring up refs, but we were getting pretty physical. And that Jonathan Jones pass interference was really rough in overtime. I don't agree with that at all. But they were
Yeah,
driving,
that was
and they
painful.
probably still win anyways. But because I mean, at that point there was like 5 minutes left, and there was no way our offense could get down the field in 5 minutes. We just like if we're gonna score, every drive takes 7+ minutes.
It does. We can't rely on our defense like that all the freaking time, man. Like we have to help them out a little bit. I just don't see there's any way Brissett can do that. He's had a good running game. Like that, I mean, that's usually a bonus for today's NFL quarterbacks. Like a lot of these guys, they don't even have like these elite quarterbacks, they don't even have great running games, and they're still like lighting up the scoreboard. They're still passing the ball all over the field. He has a great running game right now and he still can't top 150 yards passing. Like, what are we doing here? Come on, man. It's just that's why I said I hate to be the a-hole at the like I said in the pregame, but I'm rooting for an injury. Like he got hurt, he got I guess he was grimacing a couple times after a couple of hits during the game. It's like, oh, is he out? Is he out? No, he's not out. He came back in the game. It's like, damn, it's just infuriating. Like they're so conservative. We're just you can't live like this in today's
No,
NFL.
no. I mean, especially since like we're more likely to make a mistake than the other team. To be honest, I mean, we the weapons, the quarterback. I mean, like if we're just waiting to see who's going to blink first, it's not going to go well. And sure enough, we blinked when we gave up that huge touchdown. That was awful. That was like shades of like remember when like Stephon Gilmore would give up those huge touchdowns in zone coverage when he first
Yeah,
started. So
yeah.
that was a real kick in the pants. But yeah, I mean, so Tim, so if they're trying to give Brissett the chance to prove himself with the throw, surely May. If they are trying to give Brissett the chance to prove himself with the throw, surely May has already sprinted past him. Yeah, that's a. I would love to see what these plays would look like with Drake May. Brissett. I mean, how old is Jacoby Brissett?
I don't know. He's probably close. He's like 30 or something like that.
He's 31
And
years
Tim,
old. He's not going to be much better.
Tim,
He's going to be no better than this. This is Jacoby. This is the ceiling for Jacoby Brissett.
it
What we're
is.
seeing right here.
He's never going to be better than this ever. He doesn't have any upside. And here's another thing, Tim. They just played a slightly below average defense in one of the worst defenses in the league last year. And they've put up 36 points with overtime and haven't even hit 300 yards passing. What do you think's going to happen when they start playing real defenses? This defense today was 27th in the league last year. Terrible. The Bengals, they're slightly below average. They're like you can make a case maybe they're an average defense. And here we are, just great. Defense is working great. Running game's working great. Passing, it's just not turn the ball over. Yeah, all right. No interceptions again for Brissett. 140 yards passing or whatever it is.
I mean,
Holy
this is
cow.
I think
Patrick Mahomes gets that in like a quarter.
this is like going back to when we lost to the Eagles last year and we were talking about moral victories. It really seems like Mayo's
I'm not
going for
giving him that.
moral
Yeah.
victories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
It's a good
I'm
point.
just it's just a fact.
Yeah.
Bloodbath incoming. I mean, who are we facing next? The
We
Jets?
get a short week against the Jets,
Yeah, short week
and
on
I don't
Thursday.
know. Did they win today? I was too focused on our
Uh
game. Did they
I
win?
think yeah, they won. They won 24-17. Rodgers actually played an okay game, 18 for 30, 176, two touchdowns. So I mean, that's going to be a battle. That Jets game, I'm not as afraid of them as I was, but it's definitely going to be a battle, especially if their defense finds out what's going on, because it doesn't take much resistance to stop us. If you can somewhat
No.
win the trenches, we will eventually not get the ball downfield. So, ah,
It's just a shame we win today, and it's like
oh
now the
yeah,
Jets game feels like house money, right? It's like,
yeah,
hey, if we win, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But if we lose that game, we weren't supposed to win that. Short week, traveling to New York. They got Aaron Rodgers back. Like we'll
yeah.
still be 2-1. Worst case
Yep,
scenario. Nope, that's not the case now. Now it's
yep,
like to keep up with Buffalo, it's like it's a must win all of a sudden. Like already. It's like,
yep.
damn,
And then
I
after that, we
can't
got the
believe we're
49ers.
yeah.
After that's 49ers. So
On the
it's like,
road at San
yep.
Fran. We're not winning that
So
game. I don't care
short
if
week Jets.
Christian McCaffrey's not playing. Like, get out of here. We're not winning that game.
Yep, short week Jets, then 49ers. The 49ers lost today to Minnesota.
I
In
know,
Minnesota.
but still,
But I mean, yeah, I don't know everybody. This definitely should have been a different story. I don't know what those meeting rooms are going to be like. I don't know how Mayo is as a coach, but I'm definitely not super excited about the game plan. I'm not I want to see the wide receivers that we have get some action. And I mean, we're just not giving our playmakers opportunities to make plays. And there's there's
yeah.
there's no belief that this team is going to go deep into any playoff run. So why not swing for the fences? There's teams that we've seen historically where they're facing a team that's much better and they're going for it on fourth down, right? In like the second quarter and things like that. Even in their own zone, they're playing because they know they have nothing to lose. And I'm just wondering, at what point do we decide we have nothing to lose if it's not going into the season with, you know, basically picked to be the worst team in the NFL. Oh,
Hopefully, at some point, the heat starts coming on about Brissett. Like, it's just not enough what he's doing. I still think it's probably going to take an injury to get him out because he's not turning the ball over. And they probably said to him, "Hey, as long as you're not turning the ball over, you're going to play." But I don't know. Hopefully the heat just starts coming from all areas that hey, this just isn't going to work in today's NFL. We need more than this. So and hopefully the heat comes from the players, particularly on the
yeah.
defensive side of the ball for the Patriots. Like, hey, come on, man, we're doing our job. We need the offense to do our job. Put the kid in there. So we'll have
Yep.
to see.
Yeah. And Tim said that there's Kittle and Bosa needing an IV. They're playing in a dome in Minnesota. I mean, how are you getting cramps? Like, hydrate yourself, guys. Come on. But
Yeah.
yeah, Dad, it's a
No.
loss. 18 minutes in. Any other final thoughts before we?
No. Just want to go be pissed the rest of the night, pretty much.
Yeah. Eh,
So frustrating.
it sucks. But, it is what it is. Thanks,
Damn,
thanks
man.
everybody tuning in. Thanks, Tim, for being here. Hey, Jeff Unknown, if you're still around, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys another time. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks, everyone. See you
All right.
Thursday.
Bye bye.
Take care.